Hello, I'm Iyas Radat, the president of the Society of Decision Professionals. I hope that you are enjoying this year's SDP conference. Please join me in thanking our program chairs this year, William Lee Perman and Gary Summers, as well as Pat Leach, Jay Anderson, Diana Swift, and for sure Hilda, for making this year's conference a great experience. It is now time for announcing the SDP Hero Awards. SDP annually recognizes individuals who advance the mission of SDP in elevating decision quality in organizations and society. Awards reflect the values of an organization, which are clearly reflected in the 3 Hero Award categories that collectively recognize efforts in expanding the society's community of members, volunteering in social or nonprofit settings, including SDP, as well as building and sustaining the method and practice of decision support. These individuals have profound impact on our profession, the community of decision practitioners, SDP, and the organizations and societies we all serve in. With that, I'll turn it over to Jay to introduce each of these awards. Thank you.
Thank you, Iyas. My name is Jay Anderson, and this year it has been my honor to chair the SDP Hero Awards Council. Every year, SDP recognizes great achievements under 3 awards: the Recruiter Award, the Volunteer Award, and the Pioneer Award. It is my pleasure to introduce the winners for 2022, starting with the Recruiter of the Year Award. This award honors accomplishments in expanding the base of SDP membership and sponsor organizations. A broad membership base and a strong SDP is a foundational contributor to the mission of SDP in advancing decision quality in a broad range of organizations in the profit, not-profit, and public sector, and advancing the profession of decision analysis to meet the challenge of organizations, societies, and mankind. This year, we are pleased to announce that there are 2 winners of this award. The first winner of the 2022 Recruiter Award goes to Andrea Dickens. At CNOOC, Andrea recruited more than a dozen new SDP members. In addition, she worked with her colleagues and led the way for them to become a sponsor organization. Andrea is an active member of our London chapter. She was involved with the first SDP joint conference that was held in London in 2018 and is also currently working with the program committee of the joint conference that will be held in Norway. As a member of SDP's Certification Council, Andrea was instrumental in drafting a new certification level and working with colleagues on the council to bring it to reality and approval from the SDP board. Congratulations, Andrea.
Thank you, Jay. I would like to thank SDP for this honour. I really appreciate the recognition. However, this has been a joint effort, including colleagues from within CNOOC, within the London SDP chapter and the Certification Council. I've been a member of SDP from its initiation, and when Carl Spessler asked a small group of people to develop the initial charter, I was keen to help. It's been fantastic to watch the organisation grow since then. The development of DA in CNOOC is a team effort. We have a small core group made up of myself, David Briggs and Warwick Blythe, who support a growing DA community of practice. Working with David and Warwick has been a pleasure. It's due to their help and passion that we've been able to continue to build and support the wider CNOOC community and embedding DA across the organisation. Last year, the Certification Council developed the new association certification level. CNOOC took part in the pilot. With the feedback received from these initial candidates, we've added this new level as part of SDP's certification process. The associate certification is great for individuals who have a strong interest in DA and its application, but where DA is not their main role, and it gives them the opportunity to get external recognition of their DA skills. Since the association introduction, we've had 14 CNOOC people apply and become new associate members and therefore members of SDP. I would encourage all SDP members to think about applying for certification for themselves or considering who else in their organisations may benefit from applying. We would love to have your applications. Finally, I would like to mention the London SDP chapter. Decision analysis is not so well developed in Europe, So when Alan Cooper-Smith suggested meeting with other UK-based companies to share best practice and knowledge, it sounded like a great idea. Over time, we've moved from an informal group to a formal SDP chapter, with Pete Naylor, Jan-Paul van Driel and Warwick Blythe all being excellent presidents. Through this group, we ran the successful 2018 London Decision Quality Conference. Now with colleagues across Europe, we are planning another conference in Oslo in September this year. This should be a great event, and we look forward to welcoming you into Oslo. Thanks again for this recognition.
Thank you, Andrea. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce our second winner of the 2022 Recruiter Award, Shauna Bernard Chandler. Shauna was the leading force behind the formation of an SDP chapter in Australia. SDP members are spread across Australia, and her efforts brought everyone together. Shauna recruited 9 new SDP members from her own organization, Catalyze. While forming the chapter, many more joined the society so they can be part of the nomination of the local chapter elections. Shauna is now working on expanding the chapter to Asia, and thus the name has been changed to the Australasia chapter. Congratulations, Shauna.
Thank you very much. I'm really excited to receive this award on behalf of the Australasian Decision of Professionals. It's been an exciting year. We're growing quite fast and, we've got our first webinar on this month. I'm really delighted to be able to connect with other decision professionals that share my love of impacting the world through great decision making, right? One of the reasons why we began an Australasian chapter is because we really didn't like getting up this early at night to participate in other people's seminars. I came to another seminar for SDP and it was amazing, but it also was at 3:00 in the morning. And I just decided that it would be wonderful to have opportunities for us to meet in our own time zones. So our chapter meets across 4 hours of time zones, like everywhere from New Zealand to Perth to Singapore, and of course Sydney, where I am. And it is truly extraordinary to be able to expand the kinds of academia and the on-the-ground knowledge that my team have. So thank you again. We expect to be double our size next year, and good on you for having great decisions be in the world. Thanks.
Thank you, Shauna. Next, we move on to the Sdp Volunteer Award. Every year, many SDP members dedicate their time, effort, and skills in support of a wide range of nonprofit and societal causes, including that of our society, utilizing their decision support talent to advance a broad range of worthy missions. Such dedication is acknowledged in the Volunteer Award, which honors selfless, sincere, and durable contributions to our society or to advancing societal progress through decision quality in civic, government, and nonprofit domains. This year, we are pleased to announce that there are 2 winners. The first winner of the 2022 Volunteer Award goes to Pat Leach. Pat has actively supported the SDP Annual Conference, previously known as DAG, for many years. He has recently co-chaired the conference twice, has worked diligently behind the scenes for 7 years in a row, and has facilitated the consideration and selection of conference location. Pat is also actively engaged and participated in various roles within the society, including as a board member, as president, and as treasurer. He has recently helped SDP in forging a collaboration with the Alliance for Decision Education. Pat, congratulations, well deserved.
Thank you, Jay. I'm honored to receive this award. I am also fortunate because I'm in a situation, semi-retirement, where I have spare time that I can devote to causes that mean a lot to me. I think the cause of propagating good decision-making is one that's near and dear to all of our hearts. And I would encourage everyone to look at whatever spare time you do have and take some of it and devote it to a cause that is important to you. Thank you again.
Thank you, Pat. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our second winner of the 2022 Volunteer Award, Jeremy Walker. With this award, we recognize Jeremy's continuing efforts to make the SDP Houston chapter a vibrant community. One of the co-founders of this chapter His outreach to bring new and high-caliber DA practitioners to the fold was one of the major drivers for its fantastic growth. Jeremy served as the MC for the recent 2021 Decision Quality Energy Summit, helping make it a huge success. He has been elected to the SDP board twice and serves on the Outreach Council, which is fitting as Jeremy is considered an evangelist for our society, whether he's volunteering on councils, on the board, or in his capacity in teaching and consulting at Decision Frameworks. Jeremy, congratulations and well deserved.
Jay, listen, thank you so much. But I'd like to say that I'm really accepting this on behalf of all of those who volunteer with me. As many of us know, SDP is very lean when it comes around to professional staff. Essentially, SDP effectively runs on the efforts of volunteers. They are the ones that run the events, the interest groups, the councils, the chapters. So this award really is for everyone. When I think about, my efforts that I put in from a volunteer perspective, the energy that I put into SDP is supremely rewarding to me. I get energy out of it. And so if you're not engaged yet, I think you should really consider it. Why? Look, could you ask for a more crucial time than now to increase the awareness and importance of thoughtful, insightful, and informed decision-making? I can't think of a better time for this. As someone once said, alone we are one drop. Together, though, we're an ocean. So listen, the current seas might look a little rough. The swells are up. But come on, jump in and collectively we'll surf these times together. Thank you very much, everyone. Hope to see you volunteer.
Thank you, Jeremy. Now, last but not least, we introduce the Pioneer Award. This is the most prestigious of the SDP awards and is reserved to those who have made indelible contributions over an extended period of time that help the profession of decision analysis take root, develop its core practices, and extend its utility to new areas. Winners of this award are truly pioneers of the practice of DA who blazed trails that thousands have followed. It is my pleasure to announce that the 2022 SDP Pioneer Award goes to Bruce Judd. Bruce has made a long-term contribution to the profession through the education of DEA and DQ of over 30,000 people worldwide. He has more than 40 years of experience as a consultant and educator in strategic decision-making at the Strategic Decisions Group. As founder and director of SDG's Executive Education Program, he has leveraged his expertise in both of these areas to help numerous clients develop internal capabilities and internal decision support groups to enhance the quality of their decision-making. He is truly a pioneer in every sense of the word and has created a ripple effect that has touched so many decision analysis professionals. Bruce, my hearty congratulations.
Wow, thank you, Jay. And thanks to the Society for this honor and for those of you who nominated me. This all happened without my knowledge. Eventually, Trina Weller at SDG confessed to getting the ball rolling, and she was assisted by Kyoko Matsunaga. And there were several of you who supported my nomination. Someday, I hope you'll reveal yourselves to me, and I will thank you personally and profusely. Let me tell you about the pioneering that I did. In 1970 and 71, some years back, I was a grad student in Stanford Engineering. And in the spring, I joined the Decision Analysis Group at Stanford Research Institute, or SRI. The leaders were Jim Matheson and Ron Howard, and they inspired me to become a decision analysis professional. There were others there, of course. Warner North was a valued mentor of mine at SRI. Ron became my dissertation advisor, my mentor, and my friend. I'll never forget the time we went motorcycle riding together up in the hills above Stanford relatively soon after a rainstorm. Our motorcycles were buried up to the hubs in the mud. My next mentor was Carl Spessler at SRI. He's become a role model, and I particularly respect his thought leadership and his ability to connect with executives. Later at SRI, Mike Harrison, who was on sabbatical from Stanford Business School, asked me to teach the decision analysis course the next year. One course. It was to be one course, one time. 14 years later, an associate dean said, "Bruce, are you still here?" Like Ron, Mike became a close friend. One year, Scott McEwen was my teaching assistant at Stanford. Scott is a phenomenal teacher. He won the Gore Award at Stanford for teaching excellence. And after I stopped teaching at Stanford, he invited me to teach with him at Kellogg at Northwestern University, where we taught together for 8 years. I mention all of this teaching because it gave me an ability to communicate with clients, whether they were at SRI or at Applied Decision Analysis, which we formed after I left SRI. My partners there, Al Miller, Tom Rice, Dick Smallwood, and Pete Morris, all were excellent practitioners and great colleagues. In 1987, Carl Spessler invited me to join SDG and to start an executive education practice. It became an excellent platform for continued teaching and working with clients to build capability. Professor Eric Bickle was an early collaborator on projects and teaching courses at SDG. I've known him as he wandered from Stanford as a doctoral student to SDG, to Texas A&M, and now University of Texas in Austin, where he's a tenured professor. Our friendship has become close. As Eric says, we are best buddies. Another close collaborator and colleague at SDG is Hannah Winter, and a third was Steve Taney. Steve is so wise, we call him Yoda. So you're picking up on a couple of things here. The importance of collaborators and friendships. It's the friendships that make the collaboration fun, and that's what makes it stick. Speaking of students, there have been lots of them, hundreds, maybe thousands. Tom Keelan gave an early estimate of 15,000 that I had taught, and now Trina Weller, that was some years back, Trina Weller has updated it to 30,000. I have no idea if those are even in the ballpark, but I do know that Tom and Trina are both quants of the first order. More important than the numbers, Trina has been a close colleague of mine in the leadership of our executive education practice. She took over as an interim director while we were searching for a permanent head of exec ed at SDG, and now Marcy Kahn, again, a former colleague and friend, has joined us as the head of executive education. I know she'll be successful. So these people that I've mentioned have had a lot of influence on me, but so have spouses of mine. There are 3 in number: Araby Leary, Sandra Menifee, and now Ellen Byrne. That's Ellen Byrne. You all know Ellen Cooper-Smith, and she's been a very positive influencer as well. She's also been a longtime friend and competitor. My address book has 2 Ellens in it: Ellen Byrne, my wife, and the other Ellen, that's Cooper-Smith. Ellen, thank you so much for your support of my nomination. So thanks to Jay and others on the committee and all of those whom I've mentioned. You've all collaborated in those pioneering years of mine. It's a long list, and I treasure your friendship and the time that we spent together. Thank you.
To Andrea and Shauna, Pat and Jeremy, and Bruce. As I leave you for the rest of our 2022 conference, I'd like to thank the many people who participated in the process of identifying and selecting the worthy winners of this year's SDP Awards. And now back to our conference.